Café and Networking Podcast promotes successful business experts. I'm Tom Reaoch, known as the King of Networking, connecting people throughout the world from my podcast studio in Brazil. And today we talk with Yolanda Drewell, and she's joining us from Totnes, England. Yolanda, an unconventional cheerleader who uses flamboyant style, language, modalities to empower the world's women to look, feel, and do fabulous in their lives and business. So Yolanda, why do you think older women feel invisible?
Tom, that's such a good question. And I think you don't have to look far to find messages for older women that they are invisible, that they are irrelevant, and that their best days are behind them. And I think a lot of women, mature women, actually take these messages to heart. And I think that's where the problem comes in. And I have made it my mission that for myself, I didn't want to feel invisible. I decided that I wanted to have nothing less than to look fabulous, to do fabulous, to feel fabulous, to have fabulous in all aspects of my life. And I think that all women, no matter what age or what stage they're at, they deserve to have fabulosity in their lives too. And that's my mission.
And I agree with you, because I think we only are as well as we think we are.
Absolutely. And I think we really do need to take a stand for ourselves. If we decide that our story is not invisibility and irrelevance and whatever other stories we tell ourselves, we decide our stories. We can change our stories. And we don't need anyone to tell us if we're good or bad or, acceptable or not acceptable. We decide for ourselves. There will always be people in the world who tell us that we are right or wrong in whatever way you want to explain that. We decide that what we are. We decide what we are. We need to empower ourselves with the stories that support us and serve us. And I think if the world's women stand up and believe stories that they are fabulous, I think that vibration will help the world, and the world needs support. The world needs to change and it needs help. And I think the world's women feeling fabulous about themselves can make a big difference in that respect.
And you mentioned stories, and I agree with you. We're not just one story, even though we think we're a story, but we have multiple stories, and those stories are in different times, in different time frames. So we're talking men or women. We're talking reaching 40, reaching 50, reaching whatever. We've put out their age limits, and those theoretically become either barriers or new gateways. So it's
exactly.
Really, what do you think? Is it a closed gate, or is it something open to a new part of life?
Absolutely. And, I think that when you reach maturity, it's the most wonderful time of life. Just like every stage in life is wonderful. It has its pros and, of course, its cons. The same with maturity. But I think maturity gives you so much. We have so much experience, and it's a wonderful time for us to really start being selfish again. And the word selfish is not a very nice word for people. Society says you shouldn't be selfish. But in my view, feeling fabulous, doing fabulous things, being fabulous is wonderful. And it's a wonderful kind of selfishness that actually serves the world.
Or maybe take selfishness and translate to the self-awareness.
Self-awareness, but selfishness, I mean, thinking of putting yourself first, right? Because particularly women, when they've brought up children, everything in their life is about their children and their husband and their work, and there's very little time for themselves. Whereas now you've stepped through your midlife portal, your children have flown the nest, your husband is hopefully happy and well fed and whatever, and now is the time for you to say, right, what do I want? What can I do for myself? And in complete selfishness, in its best possible way. I don't mean be, nasty about it, but it's a wonderful time to just reflect on what you want for a change.
No, I agree with you, but that reflection point, that of sitting down some morning and realizing exactly what you said, that it's you now. The kids are gone. Your husband may be or may not be there. It's a new dog, whatever, and it's about you. So that reflection is strong. And the fact that you can congregate people to share their stories, I think that's an added advantage to what you're doing.
Absolutely. I think we agree.
So how can our listeners find you?
Well, they can find me on my website. That's the easiest place. It's yolandadrewell.com, and it's spelled YOLANDADREWELL. yolandadrewell.com.
And there they will find not only you, but they'll find the Fabulosity movement, right?
They will. And I that's what I want for the whole world. I want it to be a movement of fabulosity. Everywhere you look, people feeling wonderful about themselves and their space in the world.
And I can see here on the site where you say, this is your invitation into the Fabosphere.
Yes, the Fabosphere is a wonderful place. It's full of freedom and audacity and excitement and aliveness and vitality. That's what I want for myself and every woman out there, and man as well.
Well, I can say that, and I can tell our listeners, just go into the site just to see the photo of yourself on that. That photo just by itself is inspirational.
Oh, thank you. That was just me literally just, feeling the fabulosity and just trying to self-express in my biggest, most expansive self. And I think if women can
and it
do
shows
that
message needs to be received, not only received and read and implemented by more people.
Oh, thank you so much. And I've also just released a book if people are interested, which tells them exactly how to express their form of fabulosity.
And what's
which they'll find on the site as well.
What's the title of the book?
The title of the book is Look, Feel, and Age Fabulous.
Look, Feel, and Age Fabulous.
That's it.
Well, that's fabulous. So thanks for being here again.
It was a pleasure. Thank you so much, Tom.
Well, again, and for our listeners, it's Yolanda Drewell, Yolanda, the last name Drewell. You'll find her on her site, yolandadrewell.com. There you'll find the Fabulosity movement, the Fabosphere, and hopefully a more refreshing life. Okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Café and Networking is brought to us by Focus MI Market Intelligence, an agricultural market research specialist in Brazil. More information at focusmi.com. Talk to Tom, talk to the world. Thanks for listening. Until the next time here at Café and Networking Podcast.